Welcome to the edition of Let's Play Farming Simulator 2013 on the Glenmalure farm. Alright, we've got a couple things going on today. First of all, look at our canola. It's all ready to go. Actually, one of the cool things I noticed as I was accelerating time a little bit, this canola has a slightly different texture. It's actually a really nice texture once it's all said and done. Anyways, that's my little comment about the texture of this. Anyhow, so let's go ahead and get the combine fired up here. And we have actually something else to work on as well. There we go. Gotta make sure it's the in-cab sound so it's nice and quiet. Really? How did I get stuck on that? Apparently I need to do a better job of... There we go, that's better. Alright, need to turn down my sound. Apparently it's too loud for me to concentrate and drive at the same time. Sheesh. Alright, so we got canola coming in right here. We need to get this all harvested. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a headland around this field first of all. And then I'm going to probably hire a worker and see how that ends up. And it should have enough space to do pretty much the whole field, I think. Now, I had a couple great comments from the last episode. First of all, I had, where is it here? Daniel Tazar says I should head towards the the IH 1586, which is the 161 horsepower tractor for 41,000. Definitely doable. Dylan Hawkins asks, where did I get the fuel truck and the water combination? Like I said to him in the comments, I got that from Mod House Hoster. It is one of the ones it's a part of a pack you can get, basically. It's the Gas 53 truck, it's called. Jared says the farm oil is actually for a Cummins 12 valve, and that's the reason, and one of the reasons why that farm oil had that is because apparently they made a deal with Cummins to make the engine for it, and that's why it has that sound, which is kind of cool actually. I didn't know that. Pretty cool comment there. Craft Farm says there's a tool, there's an implement I can get from FS-UK that is like a scraper, I think it is, and it helps to scrape out the manure out of your pig building, which we actually have to deal with today because we do have a full load of pig manure that we need to deal with. We've got 25,000 liters. That's how much manure they produce, and it stays in there. I probably could have had more if I had removed it earlier, but I figured I might as well get this harvest started before anything else. So that's why we're here right now harvesting instead of, you know, emptying out the manure, but we'll do that momentarily. Ryan Sitter says the Bobcat could actually handle the bale size that we're dealing with, which is good to know. Had more than one comment actually say that the Bobcat we have would be able to handle those bales no problem, which is good to know because I don't know what would the maximum size be for the baler, or for the Bobcat I should say. Alright, so that is that. Jason Blades made a really good comment. Why is it doing that weird thing? Jason Blades made a really good comment actually. He was talking about the reason why I couldn't use, well, I could do, how did he say it? He had a really good way of saying it. I'm just going to go fill something up, fill this guy up with water first. Actually, someone said over by field 8, I think it is, there's a place where you can go fill up your water from. I'm just going to go try that now to see if it costs money to fill up the water there. Anyways, Jason Blade says that I could technically set it up so I'd be able to use the not more realistic, well, to not have more realistic mod, but I'd have to change some of the values for a couple of different things. So that was a pretty cool little comment. Let me just read what he said. It was actually interesting. He says, with the wool pallets from your sheep, unless you have the more realistic mod installed, they won't show up. It will actually cause an error in your log. The more realistic wool pallets are from different in-game pallets. So he goes on to talk about the details in relation to that, and I thought it was like really cool because I didn't realize that specifically. So thank you very much, Jason. That was really appreciated. I love getting that kind of insight into things like that. So I have one sheep, and he hasn't produced any wool yet. So I might have to sell the sheep before I... there's the one sheep there. Before I do anything, so... Or else I'll get an error in my log, and that will be rather annoying. Having said that, I'm just going to sell the sheep, because I don't have the more realistic mod installed at this particular time. There. Alright, anyways, so someone, let me just see if I can find it in the comments. Yes, it was Jake Johnson. He says, on the map, the author made a spot by field 8 where you can pull water from the river. So we are close to field 8 right now, and we're just going to go see if we can find that water spot. And there it is right there. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. Now, I should be able to fill it with this particular vehicle. I am not sure, mind you. So this is going to be a bit of an interesting, I don't know what you call it, experiment. And they actually have little bollards there. That's really cool. Now I can't fill it yet. Oh, I can fill it from here. So I'm just saying they have these little bollards. I'm not sure what the actual name was. Posts would probably be a more accurate name for me, at least. Some posts that you can. So if you back your truck up too far, it'll actually just hit that and won't go in. All right. So let's see if this costs us money. It does. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter for us in the end. I think it really depends on the trailer you have. Some trailers you do pay for, and some you don't. So I think that's what it boils down to. So I'll have to keep that in mind for next time. Wow, I could have done this. This would have been so much quicker. Jeez. Oh well. A little bit of a run around, I guess, is what it boils down to. And we're gonna need to use the Unimog in a sec to go pick up that trailer. Alright, or trailer. Go pick up the you-know-what. And by you-know-what, of course, I mean the canola there. Alright, let's go empty this out here. It's funny, I was having this really weird problem the other day that was really, really annoying me. I updated my video drivers for my video card, and I ran into this really odd problem where it was giving me horizontal screen tear. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically, if I move my screen like this, on my screen I would see it like essentially it's like a big line across my screen, and it really, really bothered me a lot. And I couldn't figure out what was the reason why. Why did I have that screen tear? So eventually I actually found out what the reason was. It turns out the reason was I had changed a setting to do with 3D, the 3D setting on my video card. Now the funny thing is, this game isn't 3D at all, but it really made a big difference in terms of using this. I don't know why it made such a huge difference, but it created that horizontal screen tear, which was extremely annoying for me. So that wasn't the reason why. So I had to share that with you. So actually I was trying to figure out for the longest time. I was messing around on the new map, and I was trying to figure out, I'm like, why do I see this enormous thing right here? This is ridiculous. Chicken's got... the chicken should be fine, actually. They don't need water. So I was trying to figure out why I had this huge tear across the screen. Like every time I went to like rotate around something, oh, it was, I couldn't believe, you can't believe how annoying that was for me. I was just extremely ticked off by it. And the funny thing is, what happens to me when I get not ticked off? I wasn't really that angry. I'm more like a person who gets like I really want to figure out what the reason for something is. So I was trying to figure out what the reason was for that, and I had no idea, and it was really starting to make me really curious. So I was trying to go back through the steps as to what I actually did in order to, you know, get to that point. I'm like, what did I do? Did I do this? Did I do this? How did I arrive at this situation? So I found out what it was in the end. It was just a random 3D setting that created the problem. Don't know why, but it created the problem. Is he really at 80% already? Wow. Alright. So let's just attach this guy here, and let's just stick that out and then turn him off for the time being. Good. And where's my Unimog? Let's just hop in my Unimog here. Nope, that's not my Unimog. Alright. I do like, now that I've used this thing a bit more, I do like it. Especially on this farm, like this type of farm, just the size of it. It's fantastic for this small size farm. If I was playing a bigger farm, it would look weird. But because I'm on this big farm, it's nice. The small farm, I should say, it's really nice. All right. Now, there's some other random thing happened the other day. So, this, I must have updated the version of this mod or something. But in order to start this vehicle now, I have to press numpad enter, and it was Z before. No idea what the heck happened there. That one really threw me off. I was like, so why did that change? Don't know. It must be something, like some mod I downloaded or something. But I seem to recall that being Z to start, because every time I hit Z, it would change it to something else. I don't know. Whatever. Lots of random little things happening, apparently. Alright, let's go unload that combine, because apparently he's full. He finished all that already? Oh, that's nice. I don't remember him... Can't remember how far he got before. Alright. Excellent. So we still haven't done what I was intending to do. Let me just go through a couple other comments that I found. Clayton says, if you lift that size of bale with the Bobcat, it would lift it no problem. Which again, I was really pleased to know. And apparently Scott says, I should get the Abbey and the shredder, then sell some silage. So we already got the shredder, so we don't need to get that again. And the Abbey manure spreader, we can do that. That is possible. Alright, let's start this guy up here. Wait for it to heat up. Yes, yes, yes. I also changed the I thought when I was trying to figure out what the problem was on my computer, I changed my screen setting a little bit, like my actual monitor setting, to see if that was the problem or not. It wasn't in the end, but now I've made my screen brighter, and it's throwing me off. Because I guess I had my screen really dull before, really like low light, because I guess the brightness hurting my eyes before, and I turned it down, but now it's kind of, I raised the brightness a little bit, so I have to like figure out why, not to figure out, but now I have to like get adjusted to that again. Okay, he's good. Let's move him out of the way. Alright, so a lot of people are saying that this Unimog could easily handle this trailer, so I'm just going to use it for like this probably from now on. Actually, it's cool. I saw, what was it? I saw an advertisement for a Unimog. No, it was a picture on Twitter. That's what it was. It was a picture on Twitter of somebody driving a Unimog in action. It was carrying a bale trailer, which was really cool. So I was able to see a real life picture of it used in context, I guess. That's his last pass, isn't it? Yeah, I guess it is. Wow. That went surprisingly well. A lot than I thought it was going to, actually. Alright, well, I can live with that. Alright, let him finish off this little bit here. There we go. Let's just turn around here. And there's a little tiny bit at the top I'm going to get. Normally I wouldn't care so much about this little spot up here, but oops, might as well get it. In a lot of situations, you would never drive your combine around the field to get these little tiny things, because it is not worth. It's definitely not worth putting this, like using this much fuel to get these little tiny strips here. But I'm gonna do it this time. All right, nice. Let's get this little bit here. Excellent. And let's unload this. That's pretty fast little harvest, actually. A lot faster than I was expecting. I think it was Jake Johnson, I think it is, suggested that I start a map with something else other than the class Lexion 550 when I do the next season. Definitely possible. I already have a combine in mind that I would like to use, so it's definitely possible to use something else. So don't you worry, Jake. I'm going to be using something else probably in the next season, other than the class Lexion 550. Although it is a pretty amazing piece of machinery, I have to say. I will have to use something eventually, something different. All right. I don't know why, but I get the feeling I want to put. I'm just going to back this combine up in that shed there, because it'll fit nicely. I don't have to worry about it hitting everything. Because every single time I park it in that shed right there, it gets stuck on something. So the problem here is I'm going to have to move it again. Will I? Oh, that's awfully close. Scraping the paint a little bit. Actually, that's not too bad. That should be enough. As long as I don't drive straight in there and try to fill something up with seed, should be okay. Let's just lower this header here. Can I actually... Oh, I can lower. Okay, good. There we go. Excellent. Don't want to wear out the hydraulics or anything like that. Alright, so let's go sell this. Now, where is the best place to sell canola? Lodge Grain Store. Yep. Barley's coming up in a day. Pig's coming up in 4 days? Ooh. I may have to save our pigs in 4 days. That's a long time to save pigs, though. Yeesh. Yeah, it looks like there's only one place you can sell canola. It's the Lodge Grain Store. Now, where the heck is the Lodge Grain Store? That's the next thing I need to figure out. Well, guess we'll best hit the road. Let's just go here. Because that up... Maybe... it must be down in here somewhere. Is there anything else at... That's the nurseries. Well, let's just hope the Lodge Grain Store is visible on the map, easily at least. So we got 10,000 liters of canola, which is pretty good from that little small field, actually. A lot better than I thought we were going to get. And this isn't going to take us anywhere, Ian. Why are you going here? You can't drive through the river. So we're going to try and find that, and then we're going to go sell... this canola, and then hopefully we'll get a nice little pretty penny from that. That'll put us up in money a little bit, which will be nice because we do need a little bit of money. So we can get another tractor. And of course the tractor we're going to aim for is the International Harvester 1086, I think, 1586, something like that. I can't remember the numbers. But we're definitely going to head towards that because that will give us a nice little powerful tractor. The only thing I don't like about that particular, well, any of the IH Harvest International tractors is that they're loud. A lot louder than I want them to be. Left side. Drive on the left side. Jeez, I always got to remember that because in real life I definitely don't drive on the left side of the road because that would be bad where I live. No one's looking. That's some German. That's not helpful. JF Pebble campsite. Apparently someone just messaged me on Google Hangouts. I don't know if you can don't know if you could hear that or not, but that's what it was. What is this store here? General. I can't see what that says. Can I drive in here actually? Is this door gonna open for me? Oh, it does. Good. Is this where we need to drop it off? The Glenmalure Lodge. Is that where we're trying to go here? Yeah, I guess it is. Oh, okay. Well then, let's unload this here. That's closer than I thought it was going to be. I'm used to the other place where... Oh, this is the lodge. No, there's probably... Let me just look here. There's more than one sell point. Oh, yeah, so you can sell beets, potatoes. Oh, that's kind of a cool little area in there. Nice. And this is the lodge. Okay, let's sell this here and see what we get. Alright. I think this is where we sell it. 6,000, that's where we end up. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I got about... that's not too bad. Not too bad. What do we start at? 7? 6? It's not too bad at all, actually. Alright, now, that is going to be a tough turn. Can I make it? I should be able to. No. Apparently the turn circle on this particular Unimog is not as good as I was hoping. Excuse me. It was funny, I was actually looking at some other Unimogs out there, and there's a Unimog 6x6 that looks really cool. That's like a, I don't know, a bigger version of this obviously. But it looked like a really neat mod. But I obviously haven't picked it up yet. I picked up a couple new mods, nothing too crazy. Just, you know, testing out a few things, seeing what they look like, seeing how they work. Oops, that's where I want to turn in. I always do that. I always test out some new mods, but not all of them are not all of them are worth writing home about. Let's just say that. There's a lot of them out there that are pretty bad, and I'm not in the habit of using bad mods, which is part of the reason why I tend to use the same mods all the time. So because I use the same mods all the time, well, at least they're all good mods, but they tend to be, like I said, the same very often. Alright, let's just line this up here. A little bit better than that. Iain would be just peachy. Is that going to be close enough? No, let's try and get a bit closer. This is the problem with this. The ramp makes me nervous because if I hit the ramp, it's going to maybe send the truck flying, but hopefully it won't. A little bit closer. A little bit closer. Okay, that's really close. Alright, let's hop into the Bob. That's not the Bobcat, Iain. Where's the Bobcat? There we go. What do we got? Perfect. We got the right. Yes, yes, yes. Alright. So, as I mentioned, we do need to deal with the solid manure situation that we have in the pig facility here. So we're going to go ahead and deal with that right now. This is going to take probably more loads than I want it to. Whoa, that's a lot of manure. Holy cow. Maybe I should get the scraper then. I meant to download it, but manure is not accepted here. Yes, I know. So the nice thing about this little front loader kit is that you can use it like I just did. So this actually handles manure, silage, and grass. I think it is. Now this should be. I should be able to do this. Oh yeah. Now the question is, can I just tip it? That's the question I want to know. Can I just tip it in there? Yes, I can. Excellent. What does that sound? Oh, it must be the mixing station. Wrong way, Iain. Back up. Alright, so this is going to allow us to empty this out. Now, I'm going to do it a little bit with the Bobcat. And I'll let you know a little secret. I know you can do it with the conveyor belt too. But I don't think I've actually done it like this. Did I? Have I ever? I don't think so, actually. So, I'm going to do a little bit with the Bobcat. It's only going to take, actually not that many loads, actually. So maybe I'll do this. I'll do it this time with the Bobcat, but maybe next time I'll do it with a conveyor belt, because the conveyor belt is a bit easier, but this isn't too bad, actually. Alright, now I'm just going to make sure I tip it into the trailer here. Now the question is, we need to find a place to put this now. I can use the placeable heaps mod, which will allow me to establish a point where I can just deposit solid manure, which I think I might do, but I'd still need to find a place to put that, which is going to be a bit interesting because we do need to find an appropriate location that's not like in the middle of our farm, basically, because our farm's not very big. If I was on a big farm, no problems, find any random place, but in this farm I need to be a bit careful as to where I put these types of things, because I will get into a situation where I won't have any space for it. Is that close enough? There we go. So I need to be careful about that. I'm thinking I could put it just in the sheep pasture, perhaps, or the cow pasture, one or the two. I could put it in there, and then that would allow me to access it when I need it. The alternative, I guess, would be to buy a bunker for it, like I have in the OGF Bayern farm. That would be an alternative. Now, you can sell manure. And actually, is there a great demand for manure right now? I thought I saw a great demand for manure. Oh, there actually is. But it's not really. $14 a lead ton is really not worth the hassle. No. You do make some money from it, but it's honestly, the amount of money you make from it is not Not nearly enough to warrant doing this. Could you? I just had a random thought. Could you imagine actually moving manure with a bobcat like this? And the only reason that comes to mind is because it is manure. It's not the freshest smelling stuff you encounter. So it means that you would have to be careful about... oh, that's interesting. It won't let me... Huh. Wonder why. Oh, that's what it is. I thought I turned this guy off. Anyways, yeah, it's not the freshest smelling thing in the world. So if you were to be moving it with a bobcat like this, that would be pretty stinky work. And the other thing that comes to mind is basically, well, yes, you can do it with a bobcat, and people do, you know, move manure with bobcats. That's not a problem. The problem is because it's like basically an open cab, and there's no glass protecting you from, let's say, any type of what am I trying to say? There's nothing to protect you from things like splatter. So if it's a, let's say, a not very solid manure and it's a bit watery, you might get splashed with it. Ugh, I don't know anything about that. Anyways, that's what just came to mind. I was like, while in game, I have no problems doing this in game, but maybe if I were in real life, I might. It'd be fun because you get to play with you get to, you know, use the bobcat, but not so much fun because you would have to deal with the situation I was referring to, where, you know, potentially you have to deal with some not so nice situations, like getting a little bit in your face, which would not be fun, especially because it's manure. But you know, it's part of life, I suppose. All right, so we got $11,000. $11,000. So that is not quite all the way. It's not quite as far as I'd like to be in terms of cash, but it's a good start. Now we can just get some of the silage and sell some of that. That's possible as well. So we may do that. Maybe not this episode, but maybe in an upcoming episode. And that will allow us to probably, if we sold all the silage, I probably would have enough money, honestly, to get the tractor, and probably a couple other things too, just because it gives you quite a bit of money over time, at least. Oh, we're actually getting quite a bit. I think this trailer is going to be full before I finish emptying out the rest of that. Before I finish emptying out the rest of this thing here, so we'll see how that goes. Alright. Let's get some more of this. How many more loads? We got like 5 more loads. Okay, it's not so bad. Now the funny thing is, like, oops. Don't know what happened there. Guess I was just pouring it in, not taking it out. The funny thing is, you can actually use a conveyor belt to do this, I've discovered. I discovered that on, I think it was the Vojvodina map, or the Serbian map. You can actually just use your conveyor belt, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. Whoops. Come on. There we go. I should probably decrease the engine speed. There we go. Might make it a bit easier. For the more delicate work, at least. Yeah, so you can do it with, I know you can do it, so, because I have done it with the at the Vojvodina map, or on that map, I should say, so. It's not impossible, but it does seem a bit unlikely that you'd be able to do it like that. Unless you have the system set up. Like, some barns obviously have a solid manure system set up already, so you can just have a conveyor belt system set up. And a lot of dairy farms do have that, but not every system does. And some of the bigger systems have, like, they have the conveyor belt going out into, like, not a pit, I don't want to say, but into an area where it's basically a big pile of manure. So it's kind of funny. Is that guy full? It looks like he is almost full. Alright, we got 3 more loads to go. So like I said, I probably won't do this every time, but I figured, well, I don't do this very often to begin with, so I might as well show you guys. At least once. Manually doing everything. This is something Nor the Warrior would love. He loves mucking about with front loaders, but it's not my forte. I don't mind doing it, actually. It's not terrible. But once you have to do it every single time, that's where it gets a bit annoying. Where it's like, okay, well, I'm kind of done with this now. I'm good. Okay, he's full now. Alright. So close. That would have been like another 2 more loads to go. Jeez. Just lower that here. Now, let's go scout out a little area. So we can just sell it, but I think we might use it at some point. So, I don't think you can put it in here because this is from the dairy cows. But let's just take a look in here. Can we get into this little area? Looks like we can. We don't have any cows right now. So we could... we could put it right here, I guess, because this would be kind of away from the gate there, and it will give us a lot of extra space to do other things. And yeah, let's do that. Let's put it here for the time being. So there we go. We just established a tip point. Again, that's placeable heaps, if you're wondering what that one was. And then now we can just hop back in the Unimog, and we should be able to drive over there and dump it, no problem. And again, we can just use the conveyor belt to move it after that. It's not a big deal. Moving it using the conveyor belt when it's in a placeable heap is pretty easy, actually. So that is not the problem. Not a problem at all. So this has a nice little texture for manure, actually, which is nice. Apparently I had already preheated this truck. Alright, let's just drive away, and I apparently got stuck. Yeah. That's always a problem when you're trying to get it really close. Because if I put it any further away, unfortunately, the problem I would have run into is that the Bobcat wouldn't have been able to get into it. Well, that's one way of doing it. That was not intentional, but I'll accept it in this circumstances. Alright, let's just back this up here. Straighten it out. I'll use my amazing backing upping skills. Not so much. See, this is where, well, I guess I could do it this way. It's not too bad. The visibility in the Unimog is fantastic, so I gotta give the company, Unimog, I guess the company, props for being able to make that much visibility in these things. I guess you really, like in a lot of farms where they're used, these Unimogs, like it's really smaller, it's much, I wouldn't say smaller farms, but European farms, and European farms tend to be really narrow. So being able to see very clearly all around is pretty vital, actually. So, alright, we're gonna go out here, and then go down here. Perfect. Yeah, so being able to see is pretty vital in terms of, well, being able to move around and whatnot. And now that I think about this, I really should have... oh, well, I guess I'm going to drive through some gates. I really should have set up auto tractor to do stuff while I was unloading. See? Now it's a placeable heap, and now it just becomes a big pile that I can just add to whenever I want to. And actually, what happens is it's actually like a... it turns out to be like a long pile when it's all said and done, if I remember correctly. So it's not too bad. And now the pigs can produce more solid manure if they want to, and I'm sure they will. All right. Whoops, that corner was a little bit too tight. Guess it helps if I can see where I'm going. There we go. All right, so we're gonna finish unloading the rest of the pigs there. We might as well. There's only like 2 loads left, so. But apparently 4,000 liters is 16%, so something to keep in mind, I suppose. So this does lead us to another possibility of getting a solid manure spreader, because we have solid manure now, basically. All right, so Is this thing running? No. It must be the mixing station that's making the sound. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I hear like something's running. It must be the mixing station. Alright. Let's see how close we can get this. This is where mirrors would be nice, but whatever. Can we get this close? It sounds like that truck's running. I don't know why. Yeah, oh, wow, that's weird. The sound was actually running as if it was making the sound as if it was running for some reason. Must be another mod conflict. You try to get good mods sometimes. Now, is this going to be too far away? I have a feeling it might be just a wee bit. Oh, it might be alright. Someone suggested that I put a another ramp on top of this ramp. Yeah, that's not happening. That's a little too unrealistic, but it was an interesting suggestion. It's not my style. I don't like doing stuff like that, but, you know, it definitely would have solved the problem, that's for sure. There we go. Apparently we have 3 loads left, or 2 loads left, because they've produced a little bit more manure now. Oh, goodness. Whoa, 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 whoa. Not so fast. Gotta turn down the engine speed then. Don't know why, but it decided to go crazy. Oh, wow, that's why. We're gonna be able to get out of this. There we go. Nothing a little front loader can't handle, apparently. There we go. So, while this is, I suppose, not the most action-packed episode in terms of harvesting and whatnot, but I guess we did quite a few things. We got a good harvest done. We did a canola harvest, cleaned out the pig stalls. We also sold a canola, made a little bit of money. So it's not too bad, I guess. Oh, that's close. There we go. I just don't want to drive too much, so well, I could drive a little bit further. Not much. Trying to do it in cab for whatever reason, but it does tend to make it a bit more interesting in terms of what you can and can't do. Now the funny thing is, solid manure does work well to fertilize your fields and whatnot, but the funny thing is, you have to have a crazy amount of solid manure in order to fertilize your fields. Oh, there we go. Perfect. But it is doable, I guess. All right. Let's get the last of this in here. Perfect. Look at that. Excellent. And now I know I'm just going to go grab a little bit of silage because I know that our mixing station does need a bit of silage. So let's just grab a couple loads here. Because we can do this with this fork, which is nice. Excellent. This is one of the advantages of having this particular, I don't know, fork on here, I guess you can call it. It can pick up manure and silage, which is nice. So it does allow me to do stuff like that, where I happen to be in the same area, so I can grab a little bit of silage and put that in there. And that'll give us a little bit more of TMR for our pigs, because we have 183 pigs now, believe that or not. That's what happens when you make sure your pigs have everything they need to be at 100% productivity. They go crazy, and you get a ton of pigs. It's interesting, I was having a conversation with Caraver76 and a couple other guys about what their thoughts were on things like having to buy pigs versus just putting the material in the pen or in the pig building, for example, and just getting pigs. Like on this particular map, you don't have to buy the pigs or anything, you just get them from putting stuff on there in the building, which is, you know, okay, I guess. I wouldn't say it's ideal, but Some other maps have the ability to buy pigs and buy cows, and then let them mature. And then once they mature, then you can sell them, but only then. Like on this map, you just put stuff in there, they mature, and they're good to go, basically. So slightly different. All right, one more load, and I think that'll be good. One more load. Here we go. Let's just get this. A little bit more. There we go. Perfect. Excellent. Alright, we'll drop this load off here, and then we'll go unload the manure, and that should be good. Perfect. Let's just leave this guy here, and let's hop in the Unimog. There we go. Another 5,000 liters of solid manure. It's not so bad. That'll keep us busy, I suppose. Now, the other funny thing is we do have 210,000 liters of liquid manure from our pigs as well. Because we only have one field, we'll be able to use that and be able to use it efficiently. Now, someone suggested I get the Abbey manure spreader in order to fertilize our fields. Definitely a possibility. We just haven't done it. Why didn't I start the other tractor again? Sheesh. Don't know why I didn't do that. Oh well. Alright, so we're gonna unload this. Alright, let's the cool thing now is actually now this is a placeable heap. You can just kind of drive beside it like I just did here, and then it kind of fills it up accordingly, which is one of the nice features about it. Perfect. We don't have any cows anyways. We don't need to worry about this big pile of manure there, so it's not so bad. Oh, I love the in-cab sound. It's so quiet in here. I wish more vehicles were this quiet. Now, this has become one of my other things. Mixing plant, hay, silo, empty. Okay, well, I guess we need to put some more hay in there. This has become one of my other things where I really like vehicles that have the in-cab sound, but sometimes it's only a slight decrease in sound, whereas this one is a really big decrease in sound. So I guess it depends on the vehicle. Some vehicles it would get really quiet, and other vehicles not so much. Like I was mucking about with a Case Steiger 600 and just seeing the difference in the sound when you're inside versus when you're outside, and it was a bit of a difference, but not a big difference. So ah well. Alright, let's take a quick peek at slurry. What's on sale? Is anything on sale? No, just McHale stuff. Okay. Let's take a quick look at slurry. Because we have a lot more slurry than solid manure, I'll be honest with you. We could get the Abbey manure spreader. That's a possibility. I've gotten those many times before, so I'm somewhat reluctant to get it. Could get the Marshall, which would be a good size for this farm as well. And that's it. Or the in-game stuff, which isn't very fun. This one I actually got on... I got on the old family farm, actually. Back in the day. And that's just a little too humongous for this farm. That holds 9,000 liters. This one holds 7,000 liters. This one only needs a 70 horsepower vehicle though, and it's within our budget already. I think I'll think about it, because I don't think the Marshall slurry spreader is as loud as the Abbey one, although I do like the Abbey one a bit better, but that's just me. Oh, apparently I can get on the roof here. Cool. Alright, so I think we're going to stop the episode there for now, folks, and I think we'll come back and decide on what to do with in terms of the slurry that we're getting. Alright, so my name's Iain Robson. This has been Farming Simulator 2013 on the Glenmalure farm. Catch you guys later.